everyone, Karen here. Today we're going to be making a Christmas card using a couple pieces from Retro Christmas. I have the reindeer and I have the sentiments. And I am going to be using the watercolored shape stamps. If you haven't seen these, kind of think of these as nesting dies but in stamp form. So I'm going to use one of those. And I'm also going to use the 6-inch paper pad from Retro Christmas because I know these can be a little tough to use sometimes. But I'm gonna use it in this card. I'll show you a way you can use this. I also have a 5x7 card base, which is 10x7, scored at 5, in craft card. I have a piece of the linen card that came with the retro set that is 3x4 3/4. I have a piece of cream colored paper from my stash that was 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I also have a square that is 2 1/8. I have 2 of them in case I have a mistake. I can redo it. This is where we're headed with that, but I'm going to emboss it this time. And this is the little reindeer already colored and cut out, but he's on white paper, so we're going to have to do something with him to make him blend into all this cream and beige we have going on for this card. So the first thing I want to do is construct this front part here. So to do this, I need to cut this paper. Now this paper is a 6x6. Now this trim around the outside is about 1/4 inch. So I want to cut this trim off first so I can use it on the card. And then I will cut this down. Alright, so I am going to move this to 5 3/4 carefully. So I want to make sure I get all of it off. I'm going to check it. I brought my blade down and I'm looking, and yes, I am getting all of the trim. Because if I get a little bit of blue, that's fine. I can cut off. I'm now going to flip this over so I get another long strip. So now I need to put this at 5 1/2. And line this up. And lay my blade down again. Check it. Yes, I'm getting all the stripe. And come down. So now I have the 2 stripes from the edge, and I can trim this little bit of blue off when I go to use it. I want to take this one off. So again, I will bring it to 5 3/4. That is way too far. See, now I can see where the blade is going to be. Line this up, and that down. So now I have the 4 pieces I can use. So now this piece needs to be 4 3/4. So I need to decide what side I want to cut off, and I'm thinking I want to cut it off from this side. So let me go to 4 3/4 and take a look, see what I'm cutting off here, and I think that will be fine. So 4 3/4. Now, let's talk about how long I need to cut this. Because I have this piece here. This is going to go in the middle. So if this is 6 3/4 long, let's just call it 7 to round things off. And this is 3 inches long. So that leaves 2 inches on the top and 2 inches on the bottom. 2 plus 3 is 5, and 2 more is 7. Alright, so I want to make the top and the bottom a little, I'm going to cut them 2 1/4 because I want this piece to go on top. So I will cut 2 1/4. Make sure we're nice and straight. Then I think I'm going to turn it and cut it this way. 2 1/4. Just so I have the Santas. Alright, that looks good. Alright, I'm done cutting everything. Well, now I'm thinking about it. I may trim these 2 pieces down another 1/4 inch. Because this will look like this. Or I bring it down like this and have this overlapping. I think I like it better with the cream showing. So let me cut another 1/4 inch off these 2 pieces. I'm going to be brave and cut these both at the same time. And I am going to cut this side off. Since I have a half a Merry Christmas here, I'm going to cut that side off. Yeah, always take a look at your patterns. Make sure I'm cutting this at the right size here. Yeah, when you're cutting a pattern, always take a second to look at it to make sure you're cutting off the side you want. Alright, so now one piece will go up here. One piece will go down here. And if I cut this correctly, this will fit end to end across the front here. There we go. So let's get this glued down. So now all I have for scrap is this little piece here. And maybe I'll use that on the inside. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so these are all the pieces that I have. So I have my little stripes. I have these. So let's start gluing things down. So I'm going to use Collel glue so I can slide things into place. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of here. And I'm going to turn this sideways so I can see it better. So I'm going to be measuring this to have the sides and the top to be the same. Like that. That looks good. Okay, now we'll do the same with the bottom. And I'm going to flip this around. If I put this one on this direction, I need to make sure I'm putting this one in the same direction and not put it on upside down. So let me slide this one into place. Okay, that one will go there. Now I think I'm going to glue this flat right down the middle here. And this will go edge to edge. This will be in the middle of the card. Like that. There we go. So now it looks like my paper is the whole length of my card, and then I have the band over the top, like that. So I know I have a whole bunch of 6x6 papers that I really need to use, so I'm going to try to start incorporating them so I can get them used. Alright, so let's bring in our little reindeer here. Now you see how white that looks? That looks really, really white. So I have some Sandy Beach from Gina K. So what I'm going to do, let me grab some scrap. I'll lay him down here. Let me get my little pieces out of the way here. And this is a very light brown. When you use it and it dries, it really does look a lot like sand. So I am going to use this to get rid of all the white in my little reindeer here. So he blends in a little bit better with the rest of the card. Just a little bit. He's going to look a whole lot better now on there. See, now he blends in a little bit better. Alright, so let's put this to the side. Now let's talk about our little messaging for the front. We wish you a magical Christmas. So I have a 2 1/8 square, and that's the size this is. So let's do some stamping on here. Let me bring in my stamping platform. Give myself a little room here. Alright, so let's put this on here at an angle. I guess it doesn't matter to begin with, because the first thing we're going to do is bring in our watercolor shaped stamps. And these are kind of cool because I'm going to use the second one here. They're just shapes. There was a circle, there was an oval, there was a heart, a star, a bunch of different shapes. And all they do is give you a nice outline. You could use these on all of your messaging on the front. Now this one I am using the second one in, because the big one was just a little bit too big. But the second one, that was about the size I was looking for. So I am going to lay this on here. Now it is a little wobbly, so you want to make sure you let it lay naturally where it wants to. And it will lay straight. So let me make sure this is on here even. That looks pretty good. That looks good. Okay. We'll leave it like that. We will pick it up. We will stamp it like a normal stamp. Now I'm going to use the Midas ink here. It's a pigment ink, metallic ink. But I would say when you put this down, do make sure that you did put down the right size, because it is such a skinny stamp, it'd be very easy to put it on upside down. So let me stamp this up. And stamp this on here. And I'm using bronze. I started off using gold, but with it being cream paper instead of white paper, it didn't look as good. It wasn't showing up. I think my ink pad is getting a little dry. And this is also not the smoothest of cardstock that I'm stamping this on. So I will have to do this a couple of times. I think I'll do it one more time. This is more of a retro old card, so it doesn't have to be solid. There we go. I think that will be good. Take this off. Okay, so now we need our message. The front of the card. And we have, "We wish you a magical Christmas." So now I'm going to turn this at an angle, turn it into a diamond. This will go in the middle. Now this is a little bit of a tight squeeze, so I'm going to hold this up and look at it. Make sure I'm all good. Maybe scoochie it up just a little bit. There we go. That looks good, I think. So let's pick that up. So now I have my anti-static bag. Let's put some of that on here. I'm going to use red Distress Oxide inks. It's the only red pigment ink I have. And I'm hoping red's not a mistake, but you know, I have 2 squares in case it is a mistake. I also have that black one standing by. Alright, so we'll press down. And we'll do this a couple of times. Oh, I think the red's going to be fine. I'm going to do it one more time. And this is just because of the paper I'm using. It's not a very smooth paper. It's not the best paper for stamping, but it was the color I wanted. Alright, I think that is good. Let's put the lid on here. Get my embossing powder. Alright. Let's get this going here. I'm going to use clear gloss embossing powder. Get this back in the jar. So this is clear gloss. Alright, so let me pick up my piece here, and I'm going to turn my heat gun on. And let's heat this. And there we go. Looks good. All nice and shiny, shiny. Oh yeah, that was definitely the way to go. That really brightened that up. Now it's nice and shiny. All right, so let's assemble this card. use my other glue because it's in a fine tip bottle. So I'm going to line it up on this side, and I will just trim the other side off. And I'll take the other one. Right down to the edge of the blue. Like that. Now I will flip this over and cut this off. There you go. Now we have our reindeer and our magical Christmas, which I think I'm going to put these up on foam. Alright. So I'm going to use the 1/16 foam. So it doesn't raise it up too high, just gives it a little something. Alright. Now for our little reindeer here, let's see, we're going to want to put some on his tail. We don't want any floppy bits here. We'll put some going down here. Cut a little piece there. Now I do have, it's still 1/16 thick, so it's a lot skinnier. Let's see if this is better for the legs. May even still need to cut this in half. There we go. There's a piece for that leg, piece for that leg. Another little strip for here. And since we cut that already, we'll stick that over there. Alright, let's get all this on here. That will be here. And our little reindeer will be like this. Let's see, we'll cut this little piece off here that's sticking out too much. We'll just trim that off. Like that. Okay, I think like that. Unless, let me go ahead and glue this to the front of the card. Make sure I don't want to hang him off. Alright, this will go right in the middle. Alright, give that a second to grab. That actually gives them a little bit more room. Alright, so let's just attach these. Put another piece there in the middle. This paper is a little thinner. Now I want this to be here and here. Now my little reindeer will go over here. backing paper off. And let's put him, let's see, make it look like he's standing on here. So I'm thinking about over here. Let's see, does this need anything else? Let's see. I think this needs a couple of gems. So let's see here. Get my pickup tool. And I'm thinking some red. So let's see, about that size, and I also have the big ones. I think those are too big. Should we make him a Rudolph? What do you think? Oh yeah, he needs to be Rudolph. All right. So let's go with one, obviously, for Rudolph. And then we'll put one here, one here, and one over here. Then we'll put three on top. Let's see, one here, one over here, and one up here. That is way too much glue. Wipe some of that off. There we go. And then there. All right. All right, so let's talk about the inside of the card. So I have a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. I have a 4 by 6, which is the same paper from the front, and I have the third stripe that we have here. Now, this is what we cut off the front, the paper that we use on the front here. So this is 6 inches tall because of this it being 6-inch paper. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here about 1 inch over, and I'm going to put this on here like this. Now this is very white, and there's no white on this card. So once again, I am going to bring in the Sandy Beach, and I am going to just get rid of all this white. I might leave a little bit of white in the middle, but it just is way too much white for what we're doing here. I'll leave the center white. There we go. So that looks like that. That was just not quite right. White. Okay, let's glue all this together and we'll be done. All right, so let's take the strip first. And we'll go across. And we'll go in about 1 inch and come down. Like that. And this will get glued on top. now we'll just glue this to the inside of the card. Alright, give that a good rub. And our card is finished. So we took our 6-inch paper pad and stretched it to fit on a 5x7 card by layering other papers with it to make it look like it's one big tall sheet of paper. And then we took the pieces we trimmed off and brought them into the inside of the card. So I hope you enjoyed this card. If you did, give me a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, stay crafty.